How do they dye the Chicago River green for St. Patrick's Day? Before that, please like and subscribe. It wouldn't be a St. Patrick's Day festivity in the Windy City without 400,000 onlookers swarming the banks of the Chicago River to and all at its, incidentally, emerald green tinge. Be that as it may, how do authorities turn the water green? Initial, a touch of history. The coloring custom turned into a yearly thing almost 60 years prior, in 1962, however its genuine starting points backpedal much further. In the beginning of his organization as mayor of Chicago, Richard J. Daley was a man determined to build up the city's riverfront territory. There was only one issue: the stream itself was a sewage-filled blemish. So as to get to the base of the city's contamination issue and pinpoint the correct spots where squander was being disposed of into the conduit and by whom, Daley approved the pouring of an extraordinary green color into the waterway that would enable them to see precisely where dumping was happening. Quick forward to late 1961 when Stephen Bailey, some portion of the Chicago Journeyman Plumbers Local, the city's St. Patrick's Day Parade executive, and a cherished companion of Daley, saw a partner's green splashed coveralls following a day of emptying Daley's color into the Chicago River. That gave Bailey a thought: if they could mark the Chicago River green, for what reason not turn everything green? After 3 months, revelers got their first take a gander at an ecto-cooler shaded stream when the city poured 100 pounds of the compound into the water. They got a better than average look, as well as the waterway stayed green for a whole week. Throughout the following quite a while, a similar practice was rehashed, and again it was completed by the Plumbers Local. The main distinction was that the measure of color utilized was sliced down the middle throughout the following 2 years until the point that they had last landed at the enchantment number: 25 pounds of color equals 1 day of green water. Tragically, the color that was expected to help spot contamination was an oil-based fluorescent that numerous earthy people cautioned was really harming the waterway considerably more. After savage campaigning, ECO disapproved of Heads 1, and in 1966 the parade coordinators started utilizing a powdered, vegetable-based color. While the correct equation for the orange powder, yes, it's orange until the point when it's blended with water, is kept best mysterious. In 2003, one of the parade coordinators told a columnist that noteworthy the recipe would be much the same as telling where the leprechaun shrouds its gold. There are a lot of subtle elements that the Board of Trustees lets even non-leprechauns in on. The coloring procedure will start at 9 a.m. on the morning of the parade, Saturday, March 17th. It's constantly hung on a Saturday when 6 individuals from the nearby Plumbers Union jump on board 2 pontoons, 4 of them on the bigger vessel, the staying 2 on a littler watercraft. The bigger pontoon takes off onto the water to start with 3 individuals from the team utilizing flour sifters to spread the color into the waterway. The littler pontoon takes after firmly behind, keeping in mind the end goal to help scatter the substance. The best place to get an impression is from the east side of the extension at Michigan Avenue, or on Upper and Lower Wacker Drive amongst Columbus and Lakeshore Drives. Roughly 45 minutes after the fact, voila, the Chicago River is green, yet don't anticipate that it will remain as such. Nowadays, the shading just sticks around for around 5 hours, which is generally a similar measure of time it takes to get an impeccably poured half-quart of Guinness on the off chance that you wander out to an Irish bar on St. Patrick's Day.